What's good, peeps? Thanks as always for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. Hughie Fury fights on the weekend coming at Victoria Warehouse in Manchester. Does anyone care? Like, I'm serious. I'm asking the question. Does anyone care? I feel like the level of interest in Hughie Fury right now is zero. It shouldn't be. I think he's a good fighter, but the level of interest is just non-existent. I don't know if it's because he's with a promoter that he's not even the third best anymore. There was a time when it was Eddie, Frank, then Mick. It's not that for me anymore. It's Eddie, Frank, MTK Global now putting on good shows, and then Mick. I mean, Mick's up there with Steve Goodwin. I mean, he's with a promoter that is sinking by the day, if I'm honest with you. So I don't know if it's because of that. I don't know if it's because of this. It seems like from the outside looking in, breakup with Tyson Fury, right? Everywhere Hughie was, Tyson was there. So you would be interested in Hughie just because of Tyson. I don't know if that's the reason. I don't know if it's his style of fighting. I'm not quite sure what it is, but there definitely seems to be no interest in Hughie Fury whatsoever. I think he's a good fighter. I do. I don't think he's where he thinks he is. I think he thinks he's at world level. I don't think he's that, but I still think he's a good fighter. He's only lost twice. Joseph Parker was close. That was for a world title. It was a very negative performance, but it was close. And I actually picked him to beat Pulev. But I think Pulev showed that there's still a lot left and that there's a few levels between him and Hughie Fury. This weekend, he fights a guy called Chris Norrad, I think it is. If you think Tom Schwartz is bad, I mean, oh, this guy, I don't know where they get the fighters from. I don't know where. Again, if you are a casual fan, don't be fooled by the fact this guy is unbeaten. I mean, this guy is, I can't even, he's below like area level. He's way below that. And when you think of Hughie Fury thinking he's at world level, yes, he's coming off a defeat, but that was to Pulev. To go this far down is unbelievable. I was reading something about his opponent. I think his opponent was very honest in an interview he done. I don't know who it was with. I think it might have been with Boxing News. And he said, like, you know, I have no amateur experience. He didn't want to be a fighter, but he always was good with his hands, referring to bar fights. And then someone approached him when he was chopping down trees in a wood. This is no joke. I'm not even making this story up. And said, look, he's putting up a tournament of cruiserweights locally in Canada. Would he like to be a part of it? He heard that he was good with his hands. And he said yes, and he won the tournament. That's how he got started in boxing. He's had 7 fights in 7 years. Yes, you heard me right. 7 fights in 7 years. They put him up against someone recently just to kind of give him a fight this year so it doesn't look too bad on Hughie Fury. That went to points. I think it was a 6-rounder. Again, he is a cruiserweight coming up. I think he's had a couple of heavyweight fights, but it's an awful opponent for someone that says they're world level, right? I mean, this isn't someone that got knocked out by Pulev. This isn't someone coming off reconstructive shoulder surgery. I mean, to go this far down, I think it is embarrassing. And I think this is probably why people are not interested, right? I mean, if it was a name, people would be interested. But these kind of opponents, people are just not interested. I was actually trying to think of what is Hughie Fury's biggest win. Because obviously he thinks he's at world level. Yes, he's fought at world level. That doesn't make you world level. His biggest win is probably Rudenko in 2015. That was a good win. But that's a long time ago. He needs to... Look, I understand loyalty in boxing and I get it and I respect it. And I think it shouldn't be there, if I'm honest with you. I think promoters will stuff fighters as soon as they can. So I don't understand why fighters are so loyal to promoters. But I get it, right? And Mick Hennessy has delivered him a world title shot in Manchester. He put him in a position to fight Pulev, right? Because I think Jarrell Miller turned it down and Dillian White. And I think Hughie Fury was the next up. So he's had a couple of good shots under Mick Hennessy, but he's got to go. He's got to go. He really does. I mean, he's not exactly the best speaker in the world, is he? So he's not going to promote his own fight. So he needs a promoter that's got a machine behind him. And unfortunately for Mick Hennessy, in the situation he's in right now, he just doesn't. He just doesn't. He needs to be in the mix. And look, he might think he's above this because he has, on interviews, said that he thinks he's at world level. He's not, again, I repeat myself. But he needs to get in this new British mix with Gorman, Dubois, maybe even Chuck Joe Joyce into the mix, David Price, Dave Allen, right? He needs to get himself in that mix. So that means either signing to Frank Warren, which I think, you know, there is some sort of relationship there that has been in the past, I think, and taking on the Gorman, Dubois, Joyces, or signing to Matchroom and taking on Dave Ellen or David Price, right? He needs to be in the mix. His name needs to get out there again because people have forgotten. He's only 24, right? You talk of prospects, and yes, he's been around for a very, very long time, it seems, but he's a lot younger than a lot of the so-called prospects out there. He's only 24 years old. He needs to fight those guys, prove that he's way above British level, because again, that's still questionable, and then go into the European level, right? And then maybe fringe world level. But for now, he's got this fight coming up on Saturday. Means absolutely nothing. It really means nothing. I mean, again, he's fighting a guy that no experience and decided to fight because someone said, you know what, you're good with your hands and there's a tournament going around the corner. It's poor. It's poor. What do you guys make of Hughie Fury? Are you one of these people that aren't interested, right? And if you aren't, why? Because again, I think there's a big talent there. But, I mean, will we get to see this talent? There might be even questions raised about switching trainers, right? I mean, again, that performance against Joseph Parker was so negative. And the performance against Pulev, when I think Pulev's there for the taking, was bad. So there may be a question about leaving your promoter and leaving your trainer. Nothing wrong with that. Take your career into your own hands. You're 24 now. And again, you need to be a lot more active. And I guess you need to have a lot better fights than this one coming up on Saturday. But guys, what do you think? Let me know. Peace.